965555 Jacksonville.
Second down, 13 at the 45 of Baltimore. Brunell back in the pocket, has a bit of time, now being chased. Plants throws, he's looking downfield, he's got a receiver, and it is caught. Jimmy Smith at the 5, into the end zone, touchdown Jacksonville. He gets Wayne Starks for 45 yards.
Barks out for signals, drops to throw, has time, fires the slant. Jimmy's got it this time, 35, 30, middle of the field, 20. He's going to the 20-yard line. He's going to score. 10, 5, Jimmy Smith, touchdown. And the Jaguars are right back in this ball game. Barks out the signals, pressure coming, steps up, steps, turns, throws. He's got Jimmy, first down, 20. There he goes, 10, 5, touchdown, win. Jacksonville! Done under pressure, steps to avoid, turns and throws. He's got him in, caught Jimmy inside the 40-yard line to the 37 and down at the 36.
Congratulations to Jimmy Smith. That is now his 800th career reception, and what a play to get it on.
This team winning right now, it helps bring so much attention to our franchise, what we did back in the day, like we were talking about, these Hall of Fame conversations. But when we're winning, we see the conversations pick up. So we have noticed that. So obviously, I'm pulling for my team to get to this Super Bowl.
XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Tom McManus, and
Hold my pocket,
Dylan Denmark.
All right, everybody, good morning. We made it to another Friday. Tommy Mack is in the house.
Yeah, man, good morning.
Missed you last week. Actually,
Yeah.
I didn't miss you
last
week.
2 weeks We missed
I
you.
didn't see you last
man.
week, but
Playing a lot of golf, eh?
I did play a lot of golf. You've been playing a little golf.
I played one day, yeah.
At the stadium
I
course.
did, yeah.
Tony, what's the first thing you ask somebody when they play at the stadium course?
How'd you do on 17?
How'd you do on 17,
I put
Tom?
it on. Put it on the first shot.
Nice.
Yeah, it was our second hole.
Okay. Yeah, you played a scramble, like a shotgun start.
Thank goodness for scrambles.
Amen to that, brother.
Seriously.
Right? Just
I
hit
mean,
it as far
I
as you
wish
can.
golf was like that all the time.
I wish more people that I play with wanted to play like two-man games, like that.
Yeah.
Because I do think that's fun.
Never once has that come to mind when you play golf. Has it for you?
Absolutely, but most people
Yeah.
want to play their own ball.
Yeah,
I want
right.
to see what I shoot today. Well,
Right.
all right.
Whatever.
Here, have another 97.
Yeah, right.
Go on.
Yeah.
Like,
You could
okay.
have maybe an 80.
Oh, it's a 96 today. Wow.
yeah,
Okay,
good for you.
congratulations. Well,
Tell
good.
your wife you triple putted on a par 8.
I won't tell them that you hit a 3-wood on 17, but actually, that'd be a hell of a shot if
It
you
was
could
a
hold the
choke
green.
down 8, actually.
Whatever.
From the whites, though.
As long as it gets on the green.
It was on the
and
green.
it
First time
stays.
ever.
Beautiful.
For my first
time
shot.
doing it on the first shot.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, you make the par?
We made the par.
Team par.
Yeah, we made the par.
All
It
right,
was a
did you
tough.
play your ball?
We did.
Nice.
Yeah. Yep.
You're clutch then.
The pin placements were unbelievable. I think they were still at the pro level. Like,
Sunday pin?
This is like charity event.
Yeah.
Why are these pins so
Was the
long?
pin on 17 in the back right?
The back left.
Oh, back left.
And
oh,
so you had
see,
to
I
get it
like
up on
the back
ridge.
left, though.
Oh, you got to get it up on the ridge.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Honestly, I think playing from the pro tees, that might be the best pin to hit to.
Yeah, the one on the far right. Ooh.
The one on the far right's tough.
behind
The
the
short
bunker.
one can be tough, too, because you're trying to, I don't want to hit on that back shelf, and then you come up 3 feet short in the water.
It's a
There
tough
you go.
game.
Tom McManus played the stadium course
Yes, I
and
did.
put it on the green on 17.
Took me till like 4 days later to start feeling good again. I'll be honest
the
with you.
back?
Yeah, back, knees. I mean,
Yeah.
my knee swelled.
Hey,
I
not
just-
everybody's as tough as golfers, man.
No, I know. They
You
are
know?
the alpha males out there, let me tell you, when it comes to pain tolerance and
No
all that
question
stuff.
about it. Tony, how did Major League Baseball schedule yesterday the way they did?
Oh, my gosh.
We had nothing going on in any sport, and baseball had one night game in the whole all of baseball.
Yeah,
they
there
had
were like
one night
5
game.
games.
5
Wow.
games.
In
One
Major
got
League
rained
Baseball
out
yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can the draft not get here soon enough?
Oh my
Please,
God.
It's
Right?
coming, baby.
I mean, that was your last
Yeah.
great shot.
It's been a
at the
weird couple of
spotlight.
nights for me. You know, the Braves played the day game on Wednesday, as did the Yankees.
Yeah.
Right? But played the day game on Wednesday, and then they're off Thursday. I'm like, I don't know what to do at
I
night.
told you yesterday I didn't know what I was
Yeah.
going to do with
Yeah.
myself, but I guess more draft prep is
Yeah.
what it is.
I started watching NBA one night
Hey,
this
good for
past
you.
week.
NBA's
I turned
been
it, though.
fantastic, man. NBA is so much. For anyone who fell out 15, 20 years ago, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe 25 years, they're my age. The scoring, it was terrible. In the 90s, I was a Knicks fan, but they played games like 70 to 68.
Yeah.
nobody's entertained by that.
Right.
You know, it's a much more entertaining game now.
Yeah, it is.
I think.
I moved it over to the hockey. I watch
whatever
hockey
works for you,
instead,
man.
but-
You know what?
Yeah,
We'll all
it
be
kicks
all
off this
eyes on
I
the
gave it a
NFL
shot,
draft
though, is my point.
a week from today. I'm proud of you.
Thanks.
You're expanding your horizons.
I'm expanding it, Mike.
We listened in on Doug Peterson and Trent Baalke yesterday. Don't know if they gave away the store on anything, but at the same time, you know, like just because Trent Baalke say, hey, man, you know, the analytics people tell you that you should never trade up. If you trade up, you better be right. Yeah. We're going to start looking at or have a sense of what we're going to do when it gets to pick 12 or 13. So people are saying, oh, they're not going to trade in the top 10. He never said that.
Right.
Now, he never said he's going to either. But none of what he said, okay, if he does, he goes, well, we're pretty confident we're right.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we love a Dunze. We love Neighbors, one of these guys. Yeah. I don't think it precludes it. I don't get the sense that they're going to do that. I didn't think that they're going to make that big of a move anyway because I don't think he wants to give up that 48th pick. But who knows?
Yeah, no, right. And I mean, they can only say so much. And you know what? Part of it is they know other people are listening in onto that conference. So maybe they're throwing a little smoke, you know,
maybe they are
here and there. Maybe they're telling the truth.
Or maybe they're just being matter of fact about it.
Maybe.
I mean, all the things he said are pretty matter of fact standard things, Tom.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It felt like a pre-draft press conference. I mean, that's what it felt like watching it. You're not going to learn all that much about the intentions of the football team, right? You can read into some of the things he said, but you're going to be reading into it from wherever you're starting to read into it from.
Right.
You know, like you're going to be bringing your perspective into it. He makes the comment about the trading up, and there's going to be a part of the fan base that says, well, there goes that dream.
No, right.
And it's like, that's not what he said.
Right.
Right. He's not wrong. Like, I do get it from an analytic standpoint that everyone's going to be like, well, what are you giving away?
Right.
Like, it's the NFL draft. Like, just the pure fact that it's the NFL draft, it's like, you're that sure about a player?
Right.
Right? Like, how can you be that sure about a player in the National Football League draft? Like, it's a really difficult process to figure out. It doesn't mean you don't do it.
Yeah.
You make the move because you're that sure about a player. That's why you make the trade up. But he's not wrong. The analytic people are going to be like, no, why would you do that?
Right. But that doesn't mean he won't. We don't know.
He won't.
Right? It's like the comments about the O-line. There's starters in the 4th, 5th, or 6th round. It doesn't mean he's not accurate. Like maybe there are starters in the 4th.
Doesn't mean he won't take an offensive line. But it could also be a window into his thinking like, hey, guys, if we don't address this early – because, again, you got one right now. You have one pick in each of the first 3 rounds. That's one player. So it's one position, right? Oh, we got to have edge. We got to have O-line. We've got to have D-tackle. We got to have corner. We got to have wide receiver. We got to have all this. What if we go off the board and there's a great value at another position, although we're covering a lot of positions.
Yeah.
That's one of the things
it's
we need.
Deep, though, right? I mean, it's, at least in the first round, it's pretty deep. Right, O-line, wide receiver.
There's
corner.
all kinds of things that should be when the Jags are on the clock. There should be
plenty of options.
A half dozen guys that you go, well, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I mean, based on what we've looked at up to this point in time, you know, you could also find corners that help you throughout the draft. I mean,
that's right.
Look, we say this all the time. Somebody finds stars late. You need to be the team that does that, right? But if there was a formula to doing it, it would be more prevalent. If you could go, well, this is what they're doing to identify stars. Teams get lucky as well, right?
No doubt.
And as we talked about with what happened with Puka all last year, they didn't draft him where they drafted him because they thought they were getting what they got.
Right.
Like
if they
showed
knew
up
what
on
they were getting, they take him in the first round.
Yeah, they show up at that first practice and they're like, whoa.
Oh, they said it. They said they put pads on. We couldn't keep the guy from getting his release off the line of scrimmage. Nobody could handle it.
Yep.
I don't know why that doesn't show up on film, or maybe you just don't believe it.
But everybody missed it
because he's playing in against whatever level of competition. But
or maybe they didn't impress him in college hardly. You know what I mean?
Maybe right.
Who knows?
It could be that. It could be a lot of different things, right? And that doesn't mean Baalke doesn't need to do better in the later stages of the draft. I'm not saying it's a total crapshoot. That's your job. You know?
That 48, that's got to be a ball player.
It's got to be a starter.
Yeah,
a starter caliber guy, at least.
Without a doubt.
Right?
That's an important pick.
Even if it's not like if you take a corner there and Ronald Darby holds him off for the first year, I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. Like a guy that is part of your core moving forward that you can count on starting sooner rather than later.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. And so which makes it so tough if you're going to make that big, bold move up the board, especially if you're getting in the top 10.
Yep.
It's almost assuredly going to take number 48 included in that. In fact, I saw a mock that first thing, like in the little description of it, Jags trade up for a Dunze. Well, we got to see this, right? And it was 17th, the 48th, and I think 116, the second of those 2 4th-round picks.
Okay.
And that was it. And you got 8 back from the Falcons. They dropped down, got Latu, the pass rusher out of UCLA, who they're said to be enamored with, and think they might be able to get outside the top 10. I mean,
and we grab Odunze in that thing?
Odunze is the guy they move up for, to make that move. And, there's been a lot of talk. Trevor Lawrence, how close is that deal to getting done? I mean, you got people now coming out of that press conference thinking, if it's announced, the next week, I'm not going to be shocked, right?
No, I don't think so.
So, and there's been scuttlebutt about, Trevor having these conversations, not so much about I want every penny, but, okay, what are we doing here in terms of philosophically building this roster? If you're going to pay your quarterback $50 million, he should have some influence on that, right? I mean, otherwise, if he's not the kind of guy that you think is deserving of that kind of influence, he's probably not deserving of $50 million a year, in my opinion. You disagree?
I don't know. I think the influence or just having a say.
I'm not saying, influence.
They all,
to some
I agree
input,
with that, but not
input. Maybe is the word, right?
Yeah. Because you look at, I don't know. There's other QBs that are getting paid a lot of money. I don't know if I want their input. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Okay, but on the tier we're talking about, you got Mahomes, you got Burrow, you got Hurts, you got Lamar. I mean, should they not all? I mean, that's MVP level players.
Do. Yeah, I think they do, don't they?
I agree.
Yeah,
I think but that's what I'm saying. If you're going to pay him on that tier, and so, is
there pressure to pay him? Do you think from the other owners? He's your first-round pick. Why aren't you paying him earlier?
No.
You don't think at all?
I don't think so.
No. There's no pressure that he's got to be extended?
I don't.
Because if you don't, then you missed on him, obviously. So you want to extend him no matter what.
Well, yeah, but, I mean, if it comes this summer or next summer, does it really matter, right? Yeah. Like in terms of as long as it gets done, I don't think it – and I don't think it's – I think it's going to happen before this season.
It feels like it's close.
I mean,
right?
Trevor Bucky said we talked to Trevor's guy last night.
Yeah. Like they're working on it, and so I would expect it to get done this offseason. But we talked about it when this year ended, right? If it didn't happen until next offseason, okay. Right? And I would expect that would be how most of the owners around the league would see it. It's like, okay, if they're looking at it through 3 years and we didn't get exactly what we wanted to see, so we wanted to give them another year, like if that's the way they handled it, I don't think the owners would be like, what are you doing? Right? Like I don't think that would be their reaction to that being the process here in Jacksonville, even if it wasn't the process with Burrow and it wasn't the process with Herbert. But I do think there's a pressure inside league circles that when you have a player of that kind of caliber at that position, the first opportunity you have to get it done, you get it done. Yeah. Like there is a pressure to get.
But I don't think it's from your fellow owners.
No, I don't think it's from
it's
the
more
owners.
like, hey, let's get it done so we can lock it in.
Right.
Well, the stadium's from the other owners. They influence that.
Sure,
absolutely.
But it has nothing. Like it didn't affect the process with Lamar at all. Yeah. And that dude was an MVP.
Well, I would think the owners would be more like, you're trading Fields for a what? You're dumping him for a sixth 3 years after spending a first-round pick on it. That, to me, is more like, I don't know. Like, but the other owners are probably like, good, let him screw up. You know what I mean? Or I don't know. Like, honestly, the other owners might prefer you don't pay him for as long as possible. Because every time you pay a new guy a big thing, well, now – I'm better than Trevor Lawrence. I'm getting more than that guy, and on and on. Yeah. So today – we're asking you about Trevor Lawrence and the prospect of him getting a long-term contract done with the Jacksonville Jaguars, which seems more likely sooner rather than later based on the way everything feels. So how will you feel if quarterback Trevor Lawrence gets a contract extension from the Jaguars that averages over $50 million per season? It's going to do that, folks. Yeah. I mean, if it doesn't, Trevor's taking a discount, all right? And I know people are talking about, Trevor said maybe he'll take a little less, whatever. If you're counting on Trevor to take like $30 million a year, you're kidding yourself, okay? And nor should he, right?
No.
You can structure it in a way that, the cap hit is this, the cap hit is that. Yeah. You add this on to the end of his rookie deal. There's still room for you to take advantage of good salary structure, but your options in the poll. Again, it's announced that hypothetically in the next week or month or whatever, Trevor Lawrence and the Jags have agreed to a 5-year, $250 million plus contract. You're either going to say, great, he's our guy. You're going to say, I'm hopeful he lives up to it, right? There's a little bit of nervousness there. I'm skeptical, but we'll see, which is kind of close to the hopeful, but it's the more going in negative kind of thing. And then the last one is simply, it's terrible. I'll feel terrible. He's not worth it. Right? You've already made up your mind. And I'm expecting a high vote percentage, or either that or just every squeaky wheel are the ones who are tweeting at me every day, telling me, we had the guy call in the other day, Tom, that said, we had the question, in 5 years, Trevor Lawrence will blank. Fill it in any way you want. He said, basically be Blaine Gabbert 2.0 at that point. Yeah. At this point, Blaine Gabbert was already Blaine Gabbert. You know what I mean? Like, he was Blaine Gabbert. From
the first hit, Blaine Gabbert became
his
Blaine Gabbert.
Third year, Blaine Gabbert didn't even have 500 passing yards in the NFL. Okay? He was already out as, like, the future of anything. When Trevor puts his name on that contract, look, that doesn't guarantee he's going to play great, but it certainly guarantees him abundant opportunities, right? Yeah. Like to screw up, to go through the growing pains, to stick with this guy. I don't think they have any question. There's zero question in that organization's mind. And in my opinion, there shouldn't be. I mean, look, does he need to be better? Yes. But does he have everything you need to win at a high level in the NFL? I think he does. Will he do that? I think there are probably a lot of guys that do, but because of the circumstances, never win the championship. That doesn't guarantee he's going to win a Super Bowl. You know? Can Dak do it? He can. Will he? I don't know.
I mean, Dak is great for fantasy, but I don't know about clutch.
Maybe he's not.
You got to be clutch. I haven't seen clutch out of Dak Prescott yet.
I would agree yet, right? But does that mean that he can't go on a playoff run?
No.
You know what I mean?
No, absolutely.
I mean, Peyton Manning was terrible in the playoffs until he wasn't.
Yeah.
Right? Early in his career. It happens. So anyway, you can vote on that, and overwhelmingly, based on the feedback we're getting, those first two categories are where it's going to be. It's going to be a celebratory day for the Jacksonville Jaguar fan base and franchise. All right, so we'll kind of go through and parse what we heard from Doug Peterson and Trent Baalke from yesterday, what that means for the Jaguars. You're certainly welcome to weigh in at 641-1010 on the All-Pro Roofing phone lines or on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures at that same number. Hit us up in the YouTube chat or on social media at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, at Meathead55, and at 1010XL Denmark.
I can't go to the strip club if I want to go to the strip club.
That's a problem. All right, so we're ready to roll. It's Jaguars Today. Happy Friday, everybody. Keep it right here on 1010XL, 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Another weekend upon us, but I have no fear about blowing it with Awaken 180 in my corner. Awaken 180 gave me terrific support when I was losing weight with their program way back in September of 2023. And now in the months since, I get free support because it's free support and coaching for life. Hit your goal weight, and they're going to help you get there, and then they're going to help you stay there and maintain that weight loss. It is an absolutely beautiful thing. With over 21,000 satisfied customers, Awaken 180 has helped just an immense amount of people lose that nagging 10, 15, 20, 50, 100 extra pounds they can't shake, and the big thing is they help you keep it off. Call 844-346-1800 to get started. That's 844-346-1800. Schedule your Awaken 180 consultation today and join myself, Matt Hayes, Hacker, who've all had tremendous success not only losing weight but keeping it off. Go online to awaken180weightloss.com.
Jaguars Today Friday
is brought to you by
CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living from the JOI Studios at 1010XL, where the pros go.
Of course, he did 3 scenes from Godfather 2.
Dan Hicken.
He still does that?
Jeff Prosser.
I've got this terrible feeling he's going to do something to screw this up.
The Drill.
Do you want to talk about this?
Mornings on 1010XL.
I mean, seriously?
At Honda, we appreciate all the comparisons to other vehicles. And no matter how many times they compare their vehicles to a Honda, only a Honda is a Honda. Remember, value, quality, safety, there is no substitute. Visit your local Honda dealer now and experience the difference.
Jacksonville, Florida. AEW is coming home.
to restore the feeling. I am the feeling. For two huge events live from Daly's Place. All Elite Wrestling presents Dynamite on Wednesday, April 24th, and delivers a Saturday fight with Collision, April 27th.
Let's get down to business.
AEW Dynamite Wednesday and Collision Saturday from Daly's Place in Jacksonville. Tickets on sale now at AEWTIX.com.
This is the sound of real people across Florida betting on sports. It's the sound of winning your bet, only on Hard Rock Bet. And if your first bet doesn't win, you get up to $100 back to try again. Hard Rock Bet is Florida's only legal sports book. Your home for betting hoops for any sport you choose. Download Hard Rock Bet now and get 2 shots at your first bet. Win, or you'll get up to $100 back as a bonus bet. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to play. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Any adventure, any task, anytime. There's a CF Moto Utility ATV or UTV for any rider. See the full lineup at Ride Now Beach Boulevard. Venture seekers can start with the trail-tested capability and comfort of the C-Force lineup. For the ultimate in UTV performance, check out the Z-Force 950. Find your utility ATV at Ride Now Beach Boulevard or online at cfmotousa.com. ATVs are recommended for the use only by riders age 16 years and older. ATVs can be hazardous to operate. CF Moto recommends approved training course for safety and training information.
Add an ace to your Tuesday morning.
The third ace in 4 days.
Brunch with a tour.
Tour news, tips, and inside info.
Brought to you by Clearwater Irrigation and Art of Natural Stone.
8:30 Tuesday morning on 1010XL.
Want to pay less to vacation more? General RV makes that possible and even more affordable during the model year closeout, April 17th through the 21st. 5 days of savings and free family activities with the best deals on travel trailers, motorhomes, fifth wheels, and more. Guaranteed. Get to the model year closeout where you can pay less to vacation more, just how you want it. Only at General RV in Orange Park on Wells Road off 295.
If you're ready to transform your yard with a fence that stands out, elevate your curb appeal with Superior Fence and Rail. Superior takes pride in offering first-class service, friendly installers, and unmatched fence products. Mention this ad and get $250 off your next project. It's time to get off the fence and call today.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Duck Duck Rooter is now hiring plumbers. We offer excellent weekly pay, paid holidays, health insurance, 401k, and so much more. Apply now at DuckDuckRooter.com. That's DuckDuckRooter.com and click on the careers page. Duck Duck Rooter is an equal opportunity employer.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation, light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to CarlsonDentalGroup.com. That's CarlsonDentalGroup.com for all of your dental needs.
This is Joe C. from XL Primetime and stoked to crank up the 9 after 5 once again at the Golf Club of Southampton. Every Wednesday, a little after 5, the gang at Southampton will be hosting us with a new game, and I'm inviting you to be a part of it. Now, through the summer stretch, break up the week with a little hump day fun every Wednesday. Call 287-PLAY to get on the tee sheet. There'll be food afterwards and prizes, including playing for a membership at the Golf Club of Southampton. Call 287-PLAY and hit the tee with Joe C.
Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, presented by FIS, is home all weekend at 1-to-1 Financial Ballpark. Tonight is Red Shirt Friday with post-game fireworks. Tomorrow, the first 2,000 fans get a frozen shrimp hockey jersey, plus more fireworks, courtesy of Ascension St. Vincent's. Then it's Baptist Health Sunday Family Fun Day. Log on to jackshrimp.com. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, affordable family fun.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Mac in the Middle, Tom McManus. Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. A better way to a better window on 1010XL.
All right, moving along here on this Friday on 1010XL. Jaguars Today. Tommy, you were asking about a minute ago. We were talking on the break about how they kind of set the cap, you know, and and what percentage is allocated to different positions, right? I mean, obviously there's no hard and fast formula, but that's been talked about. Mike Florio, that's one of the things he's pushed for a number of years, is instead of saying, hey, Mahomes, you're going to make $40 million. Then the cap goes up $50 million, and all of a sudden, he's overpaid or underpaid or whatever. It's just tight, like you're going to get 20%. Right. You're going to get 20% of the cap, whatever it is. Right. It may go that way one day. But
so out of 100% of the team, right?
Uh-huh.
You're saying like 20% goes to the QB. Like
I don't know if that's a hard and fast number.
No, I don't mean that. I don't mean it like that, but just in theory.
In theory, well, it would be for that individual player. It wouldn't be that you're paying your quarterback room 20%. Right? Because
for that player.
If you draft a rookie, I heard some guys, who were they talking about? I was watching last night. Dallas maybe drafting a quarterback, right? Like Tannenbaum on ESPN. Well, I mean, Dak is going to cost like $50+ million.
Don't you have what's his name? Lance?
You do. They do have Trey Lance. They do, right?
Will Grier, isn't he there too?
But
I know.
That's
not.
I know. Will Grier's.
No, I know, but you got Dak, so that's just interesting.
Right, you have Dak on a one-year deal, basically.
Yeah, that's true.
Right,
that's
and
true.
you can't franchise him.
Right.
So, the point was, would you rather pay Dak $50+ million, or would you rather pay Michael Penix $3 million?
No, right.
Is Michael Penix plus an extra $50 million worth of players that you can sign, right? Like a high-end receiver for $25 million, and a high-end defensive player for $25 million, plus Penix. Are you worse? As you said, is that clutch?
No. Now, if he goes out and he's clutch this year, then
that may change it, right?
That may change it, yeah.
But is there anything wrong with putting that pressure on Dak? I mean, is he their guy? Does he have to be their guy?
You made a comment in the break. I never realized with Manning, he didn't win a Super Bowl or go to one until his ninth year.
Somebody commented, and they were saying they're happy with the Trevor deal, right? Yeah. They're like, look, I don't take this the wrong way, basically, but he said Trevor's looking more like Phillip Rivers than a Peyton Manning, but I take Phillip Rivers' level of play for 16 years. Well, at this stage of his career, Peyton Manning didn't look like Peyton Manning. He looked like Phillip Rivers. He looked like a guy who put up good numbers and then didn't have much to speak of in the postseason.
Right.
And that was the early Peyton Manning story. This guy can't win in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, I remember.
Right?
Yeah, right.
Great fantasy quarterback.
Yeah,
and put up wonderful stats.
Yep.
Phillip Rivers did all
clutch.
that. Right? Now, again, Phillip Rivers kept the San Diego Chargers in the playoff conversation pretty much every year.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So do you have to get lucky? And if you're there every year, do you ascribe to the philosophy of if you're there every year, eventually you're going to kind of get lucky and get hot? Do you agree with that?
If I have a QB with the goods, yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to have the
I think
QB at least.
I think it's tougher than people you make the tournament, anything can happen. I hear coaches say that. I don't believe that. Half the teams that make the playoffs, I feel like you can eliminate every year as truly being a Super Bowl contender. Now, that doesn't mean there aren't years when a 6 or 7 seed wins it, right?
Yeah. Or gets to the title game or whatever.
Sure. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I do think you have to. I mean, it's like Pittsburgh right now. They're kind of, okay, Tomlin gets us there every year. Do we have what it takes, though, to get on a run and win those 4 games against that level of competition every year?
No. Right. And then you get your Detroits every so often.
Right, who's pop up, and then, we'll see. Do they have staying power? It looks like they're built to have staying power.
It does. Feels like they do.
For the time being. But, we thought the Jags we're going to sweep to that division, And
went toe-to-toe with the champs, man. We're coming back. We're going to be right there.
Hey, but at the same time, that should you not be encouraged, though? You know what I mean? Like, you never know what the takeaway. Sometimes, really, the outcome is what you're going to base it on. Is Peyton Manning can't win a Super Bowl? Well, you're right for the first 8 years of his career.
Right.
At least he didn't.
Right.
And then he
did.
It
took a while, and I do think the lesson there would be you don't have to take all whatever the lesson is going to be from the first 3 years of Trevor Lawrence's career, right? That's not his career. That's the first 3 seasons
you're not paying for that
he's
either.
Played.
You're paying for the future.
Right. This is the beginning of whatever Trevor Lawrence is going to be, and not everyone gets to come into the league and be Patrick Mahomes, right? Like it's such a rarity. Players just aren't Patrick Mahomes when they come into the league. That doesn't mean that you can't improve to the point where I can beat Patrick now.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what Tom Brady was early in his career. It's like, are you ever going to beat Tom Brady?
Right.
Is it ever going to happen? Because even when he finally won playoff games, the first year that they won a couple playoff games, they lost to Tom Brady.
Yeah, right.
Right? In the AFC Championship game, and everyone still had that same thing that they held over his head. It's like, yeah, he's great, but
right.
Are you ever going to be able to beat this guy?
Yeah.
And then he did.
Then he did, yeah.
And
Mahomes wasn't Mahomes coming out of college either.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, if he was, he'd have been the first pick overall.
He's set for a year, and he's been beat in the playoffs twice in his career. Once by Tom Brady and once by Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
That's the list of the
He's
guys that have been in the league that have been good enough to beat him in those moments to this point in his career, including this year where he's a wild card. Like, they're the 4 seed.
Yep.
Right? And they're still doing what they're doing. It's crazy.
Yeah, I heard the guys on the drill talking about Lamar Jackson this morning. What is Lamar? Some people think, he's terrible. And they even refer to him as a runner who can throw. Lamar's quarterback rating was 10 points better than Mahomes last year.
Yeah.
He's a 2-time MVP, but he lost at home to Mahomes. Guess what? Everyone's losing to Mahomes these days is kind of the point. That's the guy.
That's the barometer.
I mean, of all the guys, like, we could have debated Mahomes. Not everybody knew Mahomes was going to be great, right? You got the Deshaun Watson route, whatever. The Lamar Jackson pick by this team. Now, it's water under the bridge now, but Taven Bryan, when you had Lamar Jackson staring you in the face that late in round one, what are we doing?
That's when the value just overcomes
you got it, right?
anything.
And they were talking about how Tom Coughlin has admitted that the running quarterback, the quarterback who has that added ability, there's no defense for them. Right. You can't assign. There's not enough guys to assign to him. And he was here.
I know.
Like, there he is. Get him! He's got 2 MVPs. I'm happy we have Trev now, right? But who knows where we would be if we had made some different decisions along the way. All right, let's take a break here, and we'll come back, and let's dig into a few selected sound bites from Trent Baalke and Doug Peterson yesterday. What do they mean, if anything, right? Does anything that's said a week before the draft hold that much water? I mean, you could say a true statement, and it's what you don't say and what you leave out that can really kind of color the whole picture here. All right, so again, just how happy, I guess, would you be if Trevor Lawrence signs a $50 million a year average quarterback contract? Because everyone seems to be generally pretty happy with this. Your options are great, he's our guy. Hopefully lives up to it. Skeptical, but we'll see. Or terrible, he's not worth that. If Trevor Lawrence does ink a contract extension with the Jags that averages over $50 million per season. So it's coming. So you probably need to at least get your mind wrapped around that aspect of it. But right now, over 90% going with those top 2 options. Okay. The worst being hopeful that he lives up to it. So we'll hope you're right about that. Trent Baalke, Doug Peterson coming up on the other side with Tom McManus, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark. I'm Mike Dempsey. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today Friday
is brought to you by
CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living from the JOI Studios at 1010XL, where the pros go. Get gear grinding, asphalt winding NASCAR on 1010XL.
This is going to be tight right here.
This Sunday at Talladega, brought to you by the Plumbers and Pipefitters Local Union 234 on your NASCAR station, 1010XL.
Mia here. Why Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned? I'll tell you why. Over 600 vehicles in stock right now. That's 275 SUVs, over 200 cars, over 110 pickups on the ground in stock, one location. Arlington Pre-Owned even has 125 vehicles under $18,000. Plus, Arlington's 30-day exchange program is now double. That's 60 days to love it or exchange it. Plus, Arlington's Credit for Everyone program. Shop 10939 Atlantic Boulevard or arlingtontoyota.com.
Life isn't the same without live music. Players Grill Mandarin has Samuel Sanders performing covers and original music this Saturday at 8 p.m. Jam out with this local singer-songwriter while enjoying tasty food everyone can enjoy. Players Grill Mandarin, where the neighborhood meets.
Ever buy a gym membership but don't ever use it? Who hasn't? ET here, sports fans. And instead, I send plants and flowers to people I love from Kuhn Flowers, home of the beautiful window display on Beach Boulevard. Now that's money well spent. Kuhn Flowers.
A breakfast bar that's up to par.
That smells good. What is that?
Brunch with the Tour.
We're all on the same page then.
Tour news, tips, and inside info brought to you by
Clearwater Irrigation, 8:30 Tuesday morning on 1010XL.
Are your kids ready to play this summer? Come check out the Y. Summer is a time for kids to explore new things and expand the limits of their imagination. At the Y Summer Camp, every day is a new adventure. Kids can learn about STEM, arts and humanities, athletic sports, outdoor games, and more. Registration is now open, but space is limited, and spots are filling up quickly. Learn more and find your adventure at fcymca.org. Search Summer Day Camp.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about not being afraid of the crosses of life. Life can be difficult. Maybe today you're carrying a cross of worry or stress. Let me encourage you to remember that when Christ got on the big cross at Golgotha, he destroyed all the little crosses that we face in our life. He set us free from fear, worry, and anxiety. Our job is not to be carried by the cross, but to be carried by our faith.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
Hey guys, Hicken here. It's April. Spring is sprung. It's a great time to get that house painted for the summer. Stop paying for exterior paint that doesn't protect your home or business. Rhino Shield's beautifully durable coatings never chip, crack, or peel. 25-year warranty to back that up. No mold, mildew, and algae. Water intrusion, forget about it. Fight salt corrosion, has a Class A fire rating. All while saving you thousands. Right now, 0% financing, new low pricing up to 25% off. Book your free estimate today at rhinoshieldjacks.com.
Bueller Air Conditioning presents Are You Cool?
Today's challenger, a corporate management manager from Jacksonville, Florida. Meet Les Blankston.
Yeah, hi, Bob.
That is a remarkably beige suit there, Les. Tell us, why are you on the show?
Well, I just replaced my old air conditioner with a new one from Bueller, and I'm just so comfortable these days. I wondered, am I cool now?
Let's find out, Les. Go ahead and spin the wheel.
That's right, Les. By upgrading your old AC to a more energy-efficient model from Bueller Air Conditioning, you'll save money, save energy, and proudly show your family that you are cool.
Ooh, do you think I should get a mohawk?
Pace yourself, Les.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Have you tried golfing at the improved Cimarron Golf Club? If you haven't, tell you what, you're missing out on the best deal in Jacksonville. Now, many of you have received a postcard in the mail, and of course, if you bring that with you, $45 plus tax to play. That includes a cart lunch and a beer at the brand new Stone Barrel Tap House. Now, go to the website, that is CimarronGolfClub.com, and sign up for the Wild One Loyalty Program. That's the Wild One Loyalty Program, and get all of these specials emailed to you from Cimarron.
There are three certainties in life: death, taxes, and if you stay in your home long enough, a new roof. Hicken here for our friends at Lockhart Roofing. Nobody better in Jacksonville. How do I know? They are a local certified Master Elite contractor, and that means they have a GAF Master Elite warranty. That's the best in the roofing industry. In this day and age, don't settle for cheaper discount roofers. Lockhart Roofing has been here for decades. They aren't going anywhere. Call my friends at Lockhart Roofing, 994-3851. That's 994-3851. Lockhart Roofing, Jacksonville's best for Jacksonville people.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555.
On Trent, or are we just gonna I'll set that up again. All right.
Thank you. Just want a little Michael Jackson for us, Demps, on a Friday.
I didn't know if we just didn't want to interrupt Michael.
I like Michael. His music.
You know, like what's first line of this song?
Hey, pretty baby with the high heels on.
There you go.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I know some music.
I like Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Who doesn't? I mean,
yeah. Like, how do you not like Michael
There's
Jackson?
something that Michael Jackson did, that you like.
Yeah.
Go back to Off the Wall and all that. What an album. That was a great album.
Off the Wall?
Off the Wall, yeah.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Yeah, you do. You would know.
Jean?
Off the Wall. Nah, that's Thriller. This is like Pre-Thriller.
Thriller.
Oh, yeah. Off the Wall.
Is that the Jackson 5 or Michael
Rock
by
with
himself?
You, Michael Jackson.
Yeah, Pretty Young Thing.
No, that's
That came
Thriller.
later.
That's Thriller. Tom started with Thriller, and that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
All right. Here's Trent Baalke. What do you do when you're deciding between need and best available in the draft?
You try to find the best players. That's what you try to do in the draft. We have some needs, obviously, that we need to address. The board's got to fall the right way. Needs are paramount, but we're going to stick with our formula and draft the best players available.
All right. Now, let's just one more follow-up on this, and then we'll discuss this, all right? When it's close, when in doubt, you lean towards the need.
Well, most of the time, there isn't that big a separation between a need and another position, right? So when in doubt, you're going to take the need if it's close. Obviously, if there's a great distance between the two, you got to weigh that out. And usually what we've done in the past is stick with the formula, take the best player available. Now, again, if it's close, we're going to take the higher need.
Which is what every GM in the National Football League does. I say, I don't say that like, hey, Baalke, duh. I say that because so many people out there, you got to take best player available. Really? So if the Chargers, whose head coach has said J.J. McCarthy is the best player in the draft, are on the clock with the 5th pick, they're going to take him? Right. Of course they're not, because they have a quarterback.
Right.
Of course you're going to factor in need. It's ridiculous to think that need doesn't supersede. It doesn't mean you take a corner who's a 5th-round value in the 2nd round because you need a corner.
Right.
It just means if it's close, the tiebreaker's always going to go to the player that you can plug in and play right away.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense.
Of course it does.
Yeah. I mean, but everybody does that.
Everybody does it, right?
Who's asking these questions?
Well, no, look, it comes up every year on the need versus best available player thing. Like, do we need an offensive tackle right now? We could play with the offensive tackle. You start to get into that, but like if Fuanga is clearly the best player on your board, clearly the best player on your board, you got to consider if he's clearly that. If it's like you got on a scale of 1 to 100, if one guy's a 97.1 and one guy's a 97,
right.
How are you even? Like how much confidence do you even have that you have it graded properly?
Last year going into the first round of the draft, there was an open position on one of the offensive tackles, right? Your left tackle is suspended to start the year. You have Walker Little. What else are they doing? Right? Like it was just an open need on the roster. And I think going into the draft this year, even if you want to list the positions of need for the Jags with corner pretty clear in your mind as the number one need, it's not the same kind of need that offensive tackle was going into the draft last year. It's not enough of a need that it's like, well, how are we going to play, right, with what we have on the roster right now if we don't do something at this position? That's not the kind of need it is, which I do think brings the best player available side of this even more into it this year than it has been, especially last year. Anton may have been the top of their chart. I don't know, what their board wound up looking like last year. I think this year, the guy they take at 17 is their highest ranked guy.
If the guy, I think the highest ranked guy is going to everything we've been conditioned to believe.
They're going to fit a need.
If the pundits are at all close to what the values are, right? And they get closer because they start getting actual intel the closer we get to the draft, right? They're going to be a need-rich, talent-rich. It's going to be perfect. That's why trade back is potentially attractive because you might have a half dozen guys that can go any one of these directions reasonably, right? I mean, if they're top guy in the first round, and it doesn't look like the board falls this way, but if their top guy was an inside linebacker, they're not taking an inside linebacker at 17.
No, right. Well, the one thing they've done a great job is filling needs with free agency, right? You still have needs, So
Absolutely.
when you get to 17, you still have what? You got a need for another corner, I think another offensive lineman.
Top of the depth chart wide receiver.
I mean, you've got needs.
Right.
What if they're all the same?
More edge
What if
help?
they're all graded close? Then you got to, what's the biggest need, I guess?
Probably so.
Right? You got to measure that
if
out.
If they are all graded close. And that's the thing. And we'll never get a look at their board, and know. Baalke's asked about this because the Jags have picked a lot in the top 10. They also picked at the back end of the draft.
Yep.
And this franchise doesn't pick right in the middle all that often. So was asked, what is his approach when stacking a board when you are selecting in the middle of the round?
There's a lot, as you know, that goes into it. We feel good about the group that's there, at different positions, that we're focused in on a little bit. But you don't know what's going to happen. You really aren't going to know what we're going to do until maybe the 12th or 13th pick. And then we'll look at the opportunity to potentially move up. And if we get to 16 like we did last year, and somebody calls and there's a chance to move back one or two, you just don't know. You're playing it on game day.
Yeah, I get that as far as especially the move back. You don't know what the board looks like. Like if you're in love with those top two corners and one of them's there, chances are you're not moving out of that spot.
Yeah. And those things do happen quick, right? I mean, you're on the clock. Next thing you know, you're getting a call, hey, would you trade that pick? We want,
But that's why you got to do your legwork ahead of time. Like, hey, if you want to move up, this is what we'd be looking for. And you go through all this. And I think people have listened to that. And it could turn out that he's letting you know this is how we feel. Look, he said, we've explored, we know which teams in the top 10 are willing to move. We kind of know what the cost is. And then he also says, hey, when it gets to like 12 or 13, so people are like, well, that means they're not going to move into the top 10.
Right.
Well, you can interpret it that way. I could also hear him going, we're really not going to have a clear picture of what's going to be available to us until it at least gets to that range. Right? Mm-hmm. So as we get there, what if, Tony, as we looked at yesterday, that mock draft in the top 10 where Quinion Mitchell goes at number 8.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Terrion Arnold is off the board at like 11, and now, okay, do we need to make a move for a corner, or are we more willing to move back? And we just don't know.
What did the plan look like if our top two corners are gone?
What if nobody trades? What if nobody grabs J.J. McCarthy, and that's one less quarterback that goes, although it seems like he's going to go,
Gosh, such a big risk, those rookie QBs, man. You just never know. You just, will it translate to the next level? And I don't care what Harbaugh says. He's going to say whatever he's going to say.
Of course, I know. I'm just, using that as an example.
No, I didn't even mean it for that. I'm just saying,
clearly, if you've got a quarterback, you're not taking best available if he's a quarterback.
No.
You're going to trade out of the spot, or you're going to justify it some other way and say you didn't think he was the best available.
Or if you couldn't trade, you're taking another player.
Right.
You're taking a position
We
player.
thought he was the best available. Yeah. He was the best player for the Arizona Cardinals or whatever team.
Whatever it winds up being. Trent Baalke yesterday was also asked specifically about the wide receiver class this year and said it's a very good group.
I think it's a very good group of receivers, obviously. It's I think those three that everybody's talking about are really good football players. I think there's some guys in that next wave that are really good football players too. And I think there's good players all the way through the draft at that position. There's going to be some later round guys that make a mark for themselves at some point in their careers in this league as well. So it's a good group. There's a lot of variations of guys strictly in the slot, guys strictly out on the perimeter. There are some guys that can move around the formations a little bit more. So it's a good group of receivers.
All right. Third round Pearsall, it sounds like to me. I'm going to speculate a little.
If you get Pearsall at 96, I don't know anybody that wouldn't take that now. Pearsall probably won't be there at 48 the way people are talking. But,
that's true.
But if you listen to Trent, you could come away with the idea that they're going to target every position in the late rounds, right? I mean, really, you really could. There are going to be some starting offensive linemen in the 5th and 6th round. We're just going to wait. We might not even use that 17th pick,
And it makes sense from the perspective of they kind of are targeting every position in the late rounds, right? That's the process. It's not that you have a guy circled. It's like, this is going to be the 5th round pick, right? Like, that's not exactly how it works. It's like, well, we could do this, or this, right? So, we're thinking about all of it.
Yeah. You do. I think that sometimes they have a hope for, like, a particular guy, but I think they look and say, okay, we think that by the time we get to round 5, there are going to be 2 or 3 guards we still on the board.
Yeah.
We've heard enough from, GMs. We've talked to Caldwell about this kind of thing before, where after a draft he said he was the last starting caliber safety we had on our list.
Right.
Right? And that's why we took Daniel Thomas. It's that kind of thing. He's explaining the process behind how you wind up making that kind of pick.
I wonder with the Tank Bigsby pick, is that need or board?
They wanted to fix short yardage. That's what that pick.
Is he the highest rated player? Or is that?
Know.
You know what I mean? Like, because he says what he says. I'm listening to him, and I'm like, well, what about last year? Like, maybe he was. Maybe Tank was the highest player on the board at that time, and we needed a backup running back for Travis Etienne, and that's why we made the pick.
I don't know how else. Right, I don't know how else you'd interpret it. Right? Or at least if he wasn't the highest rated player, he was close enough that it wasn't unreasonable to say you didn't have a guy that just stood out like a sore thumb. I'm curious, at what point did Antonio Johnson become the highest rated player on your board? Because for a lot of people, he was talked about it in the second round.
Oh, right.
Right. So was there a point where you said, for whatever reason, we like him a lot, but like, why did he make it to round 5?
Yeah.
When he's in line to start now for this football team, which is what a lot of people would have projected for him, a quick ascension to a starting role.
Yeah. I don't know what his reputation was coming out of Texas.
I don't either.
Maybe he had some I don't know, some attitude or whatever. You never know when you drop like that, because clearly he's got all the talent.
Absolutely.
To be a safety in the NFL.
But that's factored into, like, when you put your grade on, makeup is part of the grade.
Without a doubt.
Right? It's not just like, here's the grade, and now we're going to, then you're not done grading. Whatever tweet, when it's all put together, that grade reflects whatever that guy's makeup is.
Look, hell of a player, might have an attitude. And I'm not saying Antonio Jones, saying in general, right? Oh, we love this guy as a player. But we keep hearing stuff that he might be a little bit of a, diva or attitude.
Right, just that we're just making up an example here, right? Could be that for anybody. I'm sure that happens, and or maybe he's not a perfect. Some guys probably slide for whatever combination of reasons. We thought this team would take him, but we were concerned about his medicals, or we were concerned about his weight, or whatever.
Yeah.
A couple more from Balky, then we'll break here and get more from Doug Peterson as well as Trent Balky in hour number 2. How do the Jaguars go about determining value when it comes to placing a value on these draft picks?
When you talk about what's the difference in value, is it minimal? Is it one space on the board? I mean, if it's 2 rounds on the board, no, we're going with the better player. But if they're both in the first round and we feel good about both of them, and everything else is equal, culture, if a football IQ, all that stuff, go with the need.
It's funny. You have to, if you're going to order 1 through 32, you got to put one guy ahead of the other guy, Yeah. I don't think it's unreasonable to say I got 5 guys graded exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, not at all.
Right? Like, here's a cluster of 5 guys, maybe not all at the same position.
Right.
But I give them all a 92.1 or whatever your system is.
Yeah.
They're exactly the same guy.
Yeah.
Take the guy you think is going to help you immediately.
Absolutely.
Without
a doubt.
Along the conversation lines of culture fit, which we're going to hear from Balky here in a moment talking about. Tommy, you had the front row seat to see the culture fit that Andre Rison was or wasn't in that Jaguars locker room in 1996, but Trent Balky was asked about how important culture fit is in a locker room.
Very important. I think you look at this roster and you look at it since the coach and I have been together, the locker room's good. We place an emphasis on leadership. We're a young group. We focused on that, as we went into the off season, especially in free agency. Type of guys that we brought in here, guys that from winning programs that are used to winning, that are used to leading, and being a part of that championship run. And we're looking for players that have similar characteristics as we move forward.
Yeah, I think it's been pretty clear they tried to prioritize that here recently.
Very important.
And we haven't had. As far as that goes, that's not anything I really spend 2 seconds concerning myself with this particular group.
No, not. But culture, look, on and off the field, right? In the locker room, outside the locker room. It's all rolled into one,
Of course.
And how you are, as a pro matters,
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think, I've seen enough. Yeah. It's not that I don't care about culture. I feel like this group is not a group I need to worry about.
Right.
I guess is what I was
trying to express. Getting in trouble or just being prepared or what?
Or like that 2017 team, right? He had some guys that if it wasn't going the way they wanted it to, me. What about me? What about I don't sense that this is that group.
Agreed.
That's
more of a team culture.
More of a team culture.
I agree with that, 100%.
And that's all I'm talking about.
Yeah.
All right, we'll come back hour 2 straight ahead if you want to get in and have a comment or question about anything Doug Peterson and Trent Baalke had to say yesterday with the draft now less than a week away.
Yeah,
we'll talk any aspect of Jaguar football with you. We'll hear more from the head coach and GM coming up with Tom McManus, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark. I'm Mike Dempsey. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today Friday
is brought to you by
CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living from the JOI Studios at 1010XL, where the pros go. The place for rowdy reptiles.
I can't believe what I just saw!
Where only gators get out alive.
And this place is an inside asylum!
1010XL.
Oh, my!
Home of the Gators.
Mark Watson for Hardball Creative. Free promo tip. Put your logo on golf balls and give them to clients who are bad golfers. More hacks equals more exposure. Trust me, it's science. Hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Hacker here, and I'm loving the doors that are now opening now that I'm down almost 50 pounds. Oh yeah, and those results are in just 7 weeks with Awaken 180 weight loss. By doors, I mean opportunities I've avoided because of my weight, like an all-day adventure to SeaWorld or spending 3 days at Walt Disney World. Did I gain the normal 5 to 10 pounds I would have at Disney? Of course not. In fact, I lost 3 pounds last week at Disney, thanks to the good folks at Awaken 180. Awaken 180 travels with you, and I'm eating all sorts of foods: salmon, ground beef, broccoli, cabbage, collard greens, you name it. It's not a lie when I say I'm eating to lose weight is the only way to lose weight. Do what we all did, Matt, Mike, and myself. Call Awaken 180 Weight Loss, 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800, or go online, awaken180weightloss.com.
Lauren Brooks here from Mayport CNC Fisheries. Growing up at the beach, I know good shrimp and oysters when I see them. They're local and they're fresh. That's why Mayport CNC Fisheries is my go-to for both. They have local shrimp in stock 7 days a week. Eat like a local at Mayport CNC Fisheries.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
Let's go! Looking for a night of action without a big hit to your bankroll? This Saturday, April 20th at 7 o'clock in the VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena, cheer on your Sharks as they go all in against the Las Vegas Nighthawks. See what I did there? With tickets as low as $15, you can't find this kind of family, affordable fun anywhere else. Call 904-621-0700 or visit jacksharks.com. Let's go! Decades Night. Find that old members-only jacket or favorite flannel shirt. We're celebrating the 90s. What's your favorite decade? Let's go! Don't miss the fun this Saturday, April 20th at 7 o'clock in the VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena. For tickets, call 904-621-0700 or visit jacksharks.com. That's tickets at 904-621-0700. Let's go! Let's go!
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
I-9 Sports wants to make sure kids all over the First Coast can enjoy growing up on a field or in a gym. And right now, summer and fall registration is open. So make sure you find out what I-9 Sports offers in your area across Duval, Clay, and St. John's. i9sports.com. Enter 1010 in the promo code.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. With the weather starting to turn for the better, look ahead. Get that backyard ready for spring with a new screened-in enclosure. Maximize the space you have and make it great with Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. They truly are best in the business. If you have the space and the idea, give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Tell them Prosser sent you, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Catch Gators baseball all season long on 1010XL. Brought to you by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. And Renewal by Anderson, the official window and door replacement partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
My son and I just built a rabbit hutch for 2 bunnies he got the girls for Easter. That gives them a dog, 3 cats, a snake, a gecko, and 2 bunnies. At Zerez, we love pets. If you're a pet lover and need some help cleaning up after those furry friends, give Zerez a call. For April, Zerez is offering 25% off on all floor cleaning services. That's 25% off the cleaning of your carpets, tile and grout, vinyl and wood floors, and your area rugs. Zerez, spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Zerez. Certainly facing challenging economic times. I can't speak for all of us, but for me, comforting to know my money is in good hands with ITP Partners. Ticket here for ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. I'll admit it, I don't understand a ton about the economy. Higher interest rates, 401ks, but I do know as I move closer to retirement, I continue to watch my money grow. Thanks to Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, and Reed Wingate. Get in the game, guys. ITP Partners, always there to help. For more info, Chris at ITPPartners.com or call 904-312-9751.
This is Keith Catlin for Catlin Truck Accessories, and we are so blessed to be in business for over 100 years. Over 100 years of the best product and customer service means you can count on Catlin. From Roll and Lock bed covers to Lear toppers to Cam Locker toolboxes, Catlin Truck Accessories has you covered when it comes to your truck or van. We do those too. Got a fleet of vehicles? We can outfit them all.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
One name, one location, 100 years. You can count on Catlin.
If you owe the IRS and can't pay, now is the time to call J. David Tax Law. After a 2-year hiatus, the IRS has resumed their aggressive collections letters. Don't wait. Call J. David Tax Law or visit jdavidtaxlaw.com.
This is Molly McDonald with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update. Brought to you by J. David Tax Law. Race weekend is here in Talladega for the 2024 Geico 500. The driver for Hendrick Motorsports, William Byron, who is searching for his first win in Talladega and his 4th victory this season, spoke on his approach to the race this weekend.
Our drafting has been pretty good. You know, you don't want your luck to run out in a sense, so you just got to be a good pusher, got to be able to get pushed well, do all the little things right. Just try to have a solid weekend. You can't really control the result there. You can try to get some good stage points and try to be a good drafter and learn, because that race in the playoffs.
Hear the race live on Sunday at 2 o'clock on 10:10 a.m. The Jacksonville Icemen started out hot in the ECHL playoffs, beating the Everblades in a shutout win 4-0 last night. Game 2 of the series will take place this Sunday at home. Puck drop at 3 o'clock. It's 83 degrees at 11 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Tom McManus.
Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. A better way to a better window on 1010XL.
All right, we'll get more from the Jaguar Brain Trust here coming up shortly. Doug Peterson, Trent Baalke speaking yesterday, pre-draft luncheon. I'm going to tell you everything without telling you anything.
That's right.
That's what it's all about, right? I mean, it's always been that way.
Well, they can't. What are they
right. They're not going to tell you the secrets. They try to tell you about the process and it gives you a little content and whatever, but we don't want them telling us, right? If you want the Jags to do well, you don't want them telling you the plan now.
No. Well, because everyone else will hear too.
Of course.
And then when the runoffs start happening, they know you want something. Guess what? Someone's going to jump you for that player.
They can figure a lot of it out anyway, right? But why tell them? Why help them out?
Make them do their own homework.
Let's get to the phone, 641-1010. For the first time this morning, Regina is in Mandarin checking in. Good morning, Regina.
Good morning, guys. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Shout out to Dylan. I hope he gets to go to his concert. He's taking more responsibility on it, 1010XL. Number 2, these Baalke sound bites, you got to do your impression again. They're ripe for you to do your impression. And my question is, I'm glad Trevor's being signed, but is it $50 million minimum? Or is it incentivized? It's always people, the incentivization is always good for the human nature. So I don't know how it's $50 million minimum, and I don't know if you know anything about these kind of contracts.
Right. We don't know all the particulars of what it'll be, and I would imagine that it's whatever you hear, Regina, initially, like you heard Josh Allen got $30 million a year. Well, he did if he goes out and has 17.5 sacks every year of this deal, right? Otherwise, it's more like $28.5 million a year, right? Which is a ton of money, right?
Of course.
But to be technical, and Regina's right. I mean, you hear 50. Some of it's going to be based on unlikely or likely to be earned incentives to some degree. Yep. But the bulk of it is going to be paid out. Yeah. Out of let's say, I'm just making up numbers here, Regina. 5 years, $250 million contract, right? What's guaranteed in that? 180? I really don't. A bunch.
I mean,
it's not $40 million that's guaranteed, right?
So who's got the highest guaranteed right now at QB? Is it?
I would think it'd be Mahomes, but maybe it's Lamar because he's done his more recently.
Or Deshaun. Didn't he?
Well, his is fully guaranteed, so it is the highest, right? He's fully guaranteed, but he's not getting. Trevor's not going to get fully guaranteed.
He won't get fully, but I mean,
I'd want 200. Maybe you will.
I'll take 180.
Practical guaranteed. Deshaun Watson $230 million.
That's the whole deal.
Yep. Joe Burrow $219.
Okay.
Herbert $218.7.
Now keep in mind these are practical.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, right.
Which means that the day you sign it, like if we were to cut you, not that we ever would.
Right.
If we were to cut you in November, there's part of that guarantee that's going to hit in the first day of next league year. That's why it's called a practical, because practically you're not going to cut the guy in a year.
Right.
But technically it's not fully guaranteed because if something happened, he wouldn't get that money.
And not that Mahomes isn't going to get every penny, from that deal and more by the time this whole thing plays out. But Herbert are $218.7. Fourth is Lamar Jackson, $185.
Okay.
Jalen Hurts, $179.3. Kyler Murray, $159.8. Josh Allen, $150 million guaranteed, and then Patrick Mahomes at $141.4.
And that's the bad Josh Allen,
right?
Not the good.
Right.
But that's why I think that 180-ish range, 180 to 200.
So, how did Herbert and Burrow get up in that 218?
Who knows?
You know what I mean? I'm curious.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just the way they structure. Maybe that's really important.
Maybe. Hey, Lamar, you do play a position. What your style of play does maybe lend you to some bigger hits.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, yeah.
Although I think he's been, pretty. When he escapes the pocket, I don't worry about him then.
Right.
Like good. He's like Quicksilver out there, man.
Think about I've never been in these negotiations, but think about that. Like, so if we're talking guaranteed money alone, just alone. And you're sitting there, and you're Trevor and his agent. You're like, well, I mean, how do you? If you're the Jags, how can I pay you more than the 2-time MVP?
Maybe they won't.
No, I know. I'm just
because you're the next up.
But then you're going to be like, okay, well, wait a minute. What?
Burrow
That's
gets
$30
more than
million
that.
guaranteed difference between Lamar and Burrow and Herbert. So if you're Trevor, wouldn't you be like, well, I want closer to that, right? You know what I mean? Like, because that's how you do it. Like, I'm better than them. I'm as good as them.
Right, but I don't know how important that. Like, the idea that he would sign this deal, and I mean, in a world where what would have to happen for him to not get the full value of the deal? You know what I mean? Like,
I do. I know what you're saying. You're going to collect anyway.
The odds of you not getting it,
right,
I think are incredibly low, and I don't know how important that is to him. Maybe he's just like, look, man, $100 million guaranteed, $200 million. I'm set for life.
No, right.
I'm gonna have a bunch. The total value of the contract puts me in line with the top guys. It's not insulting. Let's go get some players and let's go win a championship.
Yeah. Yeah, heck yeah.
That's why I think it's more
180
going to be.
Yeah.
I don't know what I don't really care what the number is.
No, I don't either.
You make that commitment, man. If he doesn't get the full value, then you've screwed up terribly anyway.
Right.
Like in 5 years from now, will $20 million of cap guarantee over a 5-year period really make any difference?
Yeah.
Probably
I
not.
think too. The fan side, not telling them what to do because I think I'm going to have to do it too. Because when I see my quarterback, getting a massive payday, well, he better bring me championships. But when you talk about one of the greatest QBs of all time and Peyton Manning, he didn't get his till like
9th year.
You know what I mean? Like what they pay him and then
had 0 playoff wins in his first 5 or 6 years.
Yeah,
none.
In his 4th year, he didn't go to the playoffs.
Didn't go to the playoffs in his 4th year. Right? And Trev didn't go in his 3rd year.
So you better manage it. Not better, but
look, Lamar just won his second MVP. What Super Bowls is he winning?
No, I know.
Right? I mean, so should we not give him $250 million? You know, it's the going right. Not there. Only one guy's going to win the Super Bowl every year. So is that the only one that gets paid?
Well, MVP's got to trump the Super Bowl a little bit. Right? I don't know. 2-time MVP.
Okay, who would you rather have, Mahomes or Lamar?
Well,
no matter how many
doubt,
MVPs
Mahomes.
Lamar, right?
Yeah,
Because
it's clutch.
I feel like somewhat too with the MVP thing. Like MVP is great, and it's a regular season award, so that's fine. But MVP fatigue, I think, is a real thing. Like Karl Malone won in the '90s because are we going to give it to Michael Jordan every year? You could, right? Is anyone really more valuable than LeBron?
No one has an argument for it. No,
right? So then they're like, well, it's his turn, and how we got to recognize some of these other great players. Whatever. I mean, I get what you're saying. The MVP, Super Bowl is a team thing. Yeah. Quarterback shouldn't get all the credit.
No, right?
But clearly, Mahomes. I mean, Mahomes took his lesser team into Baltimore and beat Lamar.
No, I know.
So, at least lesser on paper.
Yeah. Well,
right?
Mahomes is great and clutch.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
Lamar is worthy of being the MVP in the league for the second time last year.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes is the better player.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's what that came down to. Lamar may have had the better season than Patrick Mahomes overall for the year, but Patrick, when it's time to go, he goes, man. Like, no one's stopping him at this point.
If you could have any quarterback, any team.
Mahomes.
Right, after that. I mean, so where's Lamar? Just curious. Where would you take Lamar? Would you take him second? That's enough.
I think it's. I don't know.
I know.
But I can't. Like,
I would
I'm not
be
going to sit here and
thinking
tell
about
you.
him, around that point. I don't know if
I
it would be
Burrow.
second.
I might take Burrow. Like,
Right.
and this is not a shot at Trevor, man. We're talking about the elite. Trevor hasn't done what Burrow's
Trevor's not
done.
there yet.
He hasn't done it.
No.
And so I mean, Burrow has stared down Mahomes and come out better for it in the postseason.
Yep.
He's also got great weapons too. He's got arguably the best pair of receivers in the National Football League.
No doubt.
Catching balls from him.
Yeah.
He makes them better too.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, man, I look, I'm hopeful Trevor lives up to it, but I'm still going to be ecstatic that they feel like it's going to be a question answered. We're not going to have this revolving door at quarterback.
Well, first of all, if they don't do it, you got to do.
They're going to do it, right? Of course they're going to do it.
Because if you just say you don't. Play this year, you pick up the option. What do you tag them twice, and then after year 7, you're gonna.
Then you're going through the whole thing with Dak. You're a story every day. Look at this as a clown organization. Can't get a deal done. They're the small percent are going to say, "Well, you're clowns for giving him this much money." Sometimes you can't win. You almost can't win, right? All the people this year that were saying you should have paid Josh Allen last year, I certainly hope you're saying pay Trevor Lawrence this time around.
No,
the price is not getting any cheaper.
No, and he's going to get the extension.
You kidding? Of course he would. I saw Bill Barnwell throw this out there yesterday. He did an all trades mock draft.
I saw it.
Right?
Like first
pick.
Yeah.
Jags give Trevor Lawrence, get Caleb Williams. Jags throw in like their second and something else because of the money and whatever. And he kept talking about how well Trevor Lawrence has played compared to like number 1 overall picks. And if you take, I think this is in Barnwell's piece, maybe it was somebody else pointed this out I saw on social media. If you take Trevor like 2/3 of the way through his second year through 2/3 of the way last year before the injuries started to pile up, the numbers are outstanding.
Yep.
They're outstanding. Over a full season stretch, they're outstanding. He's got to do that from September through January.
Yeah, I actually on Tuesday on my podcast, I went through every game. I just wanted to see how he performed, what happened. The knee injury happened, but it didn't really affect. He played some outstanding football after the ankle.
The ankle
affected him. His next 3 games after Cincy, he did not perform well, and he had to think that. And then the head came, and then the shoulder came, but that ankle injury really. And for the record, he was having a phenomenal night. Cincinnati. I mean,
absolutely.
He was,
they were going up and down the field.
If the damn defense could have done anything that night, we would have. And they were raving about Trevor, and they should have because he was playing outstanding prior to the injury.
Let's hope that there's more of that in the near future. All right, now we'll come back and we'll get back to the audio from Doug Peterson, Trent Baalke speaking yesterday in the pre-draft phase as we are inside a week from the NFL draft kicking off and flooding this team with a bunch of new prospects and hopefully starting a deep playoff run for the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods, Dandy Sandwiches, Dandy Subs, the Anytime Deli line. That's them, too. The Thompson family, that's them. They're all the same thing. The Thompsons created the Dandy Corporation over 65 years ago as a Jacksonville-based company. A few sandwiches, a few subs, and they just added to that menu over the years, perfecting it with the highest quality ingredients. Absolutely love some of the classics like the tuna salad, but, man, a new favorite is that turkey and provolone. You're going to find a bunch of favorites if you try Dandy. Swing into a gate station, fill up the tank, maybe get a little AC going, but head to the fresh case and look for the many offerings, whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack time. Anytime you're on the go, driving around Duval, you know how spread out this is. You know how hungry you get. Dandy will satisfy that hunger, and it won't weigh you down. You're going to love the variety, the quality ingredients, the prices that keep a smile on your face. Everything there for food on the go in Duval says Dandy Foods. So do like I do when you're hungry. Go out and make yours a Dandy, and do it today.
Jaguars Today Friday
is brought to you by
CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living from the JOI Studios at 1010XL, where the pros go. Friends, fun, and the best sports talk in town.
Well, come on. What do you say? Are you in?
1010XL.
Talk about a great time.
Duval's good timin' sports talk radio.
What makes a Honda certified pre-owned vehicle so special? 182-point inspection, 24/7 roadside assistance, first-year free oil changes, and a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty for carefree driving backed by American Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer today.
Now that's what I call high-quality H2O. If you want high-quality water throughout your home, call your local water boy. We install equipment to solve any water problem. WaterBoyJAX.com.
Hey there, Jacksonville. With scorching temperatures just around the corner, it's crucial to ensure your AC is blowing nice and cool. Duck Duck Air Conditioning is here to keep you comfortable all summer long. But don't wait until the heat gets here. Our service techs are ready right now to handle any cooling issues you may have at your home or business. Call Duck Duck AC today at 904-862-6769 to schedule. That's 904-862-6769. Duck Duck Air Conditioning. Online at duckduckac.com.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
RJ Saunders here, sports lovers. I recently took a tip from Frank Frangie when I needed to send flowers to my mother. Frank told me that Kuhn Flowers is the only florist he ever uses. So that's what I do now. I use Kuhn Flowers. Find them online at kuhnflowers.com.
Share your voice anytime on the 1010XL text line.
Are you serious? Installed by Lifetime Flooring.
I gotta say, you're totally blowing my mind right now.
If you can't call or email, text us. 641-1010.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation. Light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to carlsondentalgroup.com. That's carlsondentalgroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, presented by FIS, is home all weekend at 1-to-1 Financial Ballpark. Tonight is Red Shirt Friday with post-game fireworks. Tomorrow, the first 2,000 fans get a frozen shrimp hockey jersey, plus more fireworks, courtesy of Ascension St. Vincent's. Then it's Baptist Health Sunday Family Fun Day. Log on to jackshrimp.com. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball. Affordable family fun.
Mortgage rates have lowered going into this spring selling season. Have you had problems selling your home in the past? Are you looking for a promise, a solution? I'm here to give it for you. It's Chad and Sandy and chadandsandy.com, the real estate experts I trust and recommend with the sale of your home, or mine for that matter. Maybe you want maximum equity, or perhaps you're worried about costly repairs or upgrades. Chad and Sandy deliver this simple promise. They guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. You have literally nothing to lose. Take Pete in Lakeshore. I was in a pickle. I heard Chad and Sandy on the radio and called because I needed to cash out on a rental property fast. I was struggling to rent it. I called Chad and Sandy, and I got an offer for full asking price within days. These guys made it easy and delivered big-time results. Call the agents I trust and recommend to sell your home. Chad and Sandy, they guarantee to sell your home or they will buy it. Find out more at chadandsandy.com or call 414-6200.
This is Hayes Carline for First Florida Credit Union. I bank with First Florida Credit Union because I trust them. I can always count on them when it comes to the vast services they provide. First Florida Credit Union was voted Best Bank in the 2023 Best of Bold City Community Choice Awards, and it's easy to see why. I go to the branch off 210 in St. Johns County and the new Durbin location, but they have 10 branches in the Jacksonville area. You need to be banking with First Florida Credit Union. They're enriching people every day. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
We love talking sports on 1010XL, and I9 Sports love giving kids the perfect way to grow up playing sports. Summer and fall registration is underway, and if you log on to i9sports.com, you'll see all they've got to offer for kids 3 and up. And don't forget to enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount on registration. Year-round sports all across the First Coast, from St. John's, Duval to Clay. Summer and fall registration open right now. Fort Family Field in Westside Middle, or online at i9sports.com. Get your kids in the game with i9.
Why is it important not to spit out watermelon seeds? To answer next.
When you call Southern Oak and file a claim, you'll be handled by our hand-picked vendors who will analyze any roof, storm, or water damage. It'll save money for you.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Watermelon seeds contain a tremendous source of power. They're rich in vitamins, protein, zeta-3, zinc, and fatty acids.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours. Need or want cash? Beaches Jewelry and Pawn has cash available. Ready to buy. Guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. They need it all. Selling or pawning. Get cash on the spot at Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. He's number 55.
Tom McManus.
Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. A better way to a better window on 1010XL.
I asked Tommy, based on our question Monday, what's a hidden strength on the team? What? He said long snapper. I'm like, man, that's our only all-pro.
It's not hidden.
We're not hiding him.
My ADD kicked in. I didn't hear hidden at all.
That's all good. We were at Hidden Hills on Monday for the Guggen Open.
Oh, that's right.
So we tried to tie it in.
There you go. Good
like
segue.
That. Why don't we do, before we get back to Balky and Peterson, and we'll do a lot of that for the rest of the show here, why don't we go around the National Football League, find out what's going on.
Now, gems around the NFL. Brought to you by Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jacks Beach.
Green Bay has signed offensive lineman Andre Dillard. Dillard, a first-round pick by Philadelphia in 2019, spent last year with the Tennessee Titans, playing in 16 games, starting 10 at offensive tackle there in Tennessee. The NFL released a statement on Thursday stating that Baltimore wide receiver Zay Flowers will not be facing any league discipline after being involved in a domestic violence investigation earlier this year. In the statement, it read, following a review the NFL conducted, there was insufficient evidence to support a finding that Zay Flowers engaged in any activity that violated the NFL's personal conduct policy. There will be no action taken by the league, and Flowers remains eligible to participate in all team activities, end quote. And the NFL has reinstated 5 players who were suspended due to gambling rules violations. Washington defensive end Shaka Toney, free agent defensive ends Rashad Berry and Demetrius Taylor, wide receiver Quintez Cephas, and safety C.J. Moore, all reinstated by the league yesterday.
Yep. All right, Tone. No huge names.
No.
There, really.
No.
Did a basketball player just get busted for
He's out of the league.
Yeah.
He's done.
Done.
How do you not? you can't do it.
Well, we talked about this a little bit yesterday that, somebody bet $80,000 on the prop bet. Nobody's pulling in an $80,000 bet on a single prop bet. They're like, whoa, this looks suspicious. Right. And then they start looking at the history, and every time there's a big bet on his props on the under, he mysteriously leaves the game early.
Unbelievable.
I mean, if you're going to do it, at least bet the over, buddy.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Or change it up.
Right, mix it up a little bit. Do something. I don't know. All right, let's get Van Cam in for his weekly visit with Tommy Mack. And then we'll get to Balky Peterson coming up. Van Cam, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Oh, come on, Mike. I love visiting with all you guys.
Yeah, but Tony, what day of the week does Van Cam like to call?
That would be Friday.
All right. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, can I second Regina on that? And I would love to hear you do your Balky, Mike. I think it's your best impression of any that I've ever heard you done. So break that baby out from time to time.
I'll work on it.
I got a question for Tony and Tommy. I think I already got an answer from you. But when Urban Meyer came in for the year he took over, the most dysfunctional year I've ever seen in the NFL in 55 years of watching it, can we agree that Urban Meyer probably had the decision-making control of the organization at that point rather than Trent Baalke, and pretty much everything Urban got he wanted?
I think it's fair. Without knowing that for a fact, I would lean towards Urban having more sway than Trent Baalke. Yes, he was the big fish that Shad Khan was seeking. I'm sure he promised him pretty much whatever he wanted.
Well, so got him the electric center.
He did.
When that Urban's, hey, we got to upgrade our facility.
That was definitely that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's give you a qualified yes on that, Van Cam. Where are you taking us with that?
Okay, so given a yes on that, when Baalke got reins of the organization, he was inheriting a team that had won one game 2 years, the worst record in the league 2 years in a row, the most dysfunctional season I've ever seen in 55 years, and he turned that in 1 year into a playoff-winning team that won the division, won a playoff game, winning record, and then backed it up with a second winning record in a row coming off that total dysfunction. And that hasn't happened for this organization in 20 years. And yet somehow the narrative this week on your station has been, is he drafting to keep his job? I think that's one of the most absurd things I've ever heard. And I'm in a position where I believe that the Baalke-Peterson Brain Trust is the best we've had here since Coach Tom left. And thank you guys for taking my call. I hope everybody has a great weekend. Hit them straight, Mike.
All right. Thanks, Cam. You likewise. I will say, what was I talking about with this yesterday? And put it this way, and Tony, you'll back me up on this. Mm-hmm. Shad Khan has had how much success winning, Tom? Very little, right?
Yep.
Finally has his first back-to-back winning seasons. Do you think he thinks Baalke's on the hot seat?
No.
I don't.
No. Listen, I thought last year was all attitude. It wasn't talent. I thought they were talented enough to compete. I think a lot of it was attitude. A lot of it was lack of, professionalism. Getting ready for week in and week out. I think they did believe I never had a problem with their talent. I mean, I'm not saying they were across the board, top of the line talent, but they were talented enough last year to get into those playoffs. Their attitude is what got them out of the playoffs, in my opinion. That last game especially, like the defense. Come on, where are you? Like, you out of your mind? Like, this is everything on the line for the year, and you don't show up. You know what I'm saying? Like my point is, like, I don't know. I've never felt like. Look, not every pick's been great. I know that, right? We got question marks, especially last year's draft. But I felt the demise of this team was not talent, was not the lack of talent. It was more about the attitude of the team.
Doug Peterson said yesterday that, from his experience, is the best working relationship he's ever had with a front office. Good. So, I mean, is he? Doug has to say that. No, he doesn't.
No.
I mean,
no.
Doug Peterson can say whatever he wants. I tend to believe that he and Baalke don't have these major issues that we like to project on them, or some like to project on them.
And was that an answer to a question where he was asked, how is the working relationship? Or was it an answer to something else and he said, it's working really well?
Yeah,
right? Like, there's a difference between those two. Like, you get asked that question directly, a guy may say, yeah, it's great.
Right.
I don't know how much you want to believe or not believe what he has to say, but when you ask something else and
he brings it up.
comes up organically in the conversation, he's telling you something. about whatever the relationship happens to be. If you feel like it's bad and he says it's good and you're like, he can't mean it, it's like, what do you want him to do?
Right.
If he's not going to tell you how he feels about something, then why do you care what the answer is? Right.
It's there are many people that are set in their ways. That's fine. You can hate him. You can love him. You could be whatever. You could not think about him. As long as we're all on the same page of when we're rooting for him to have success. Yeah. That's the only, like, I don't want this, I want him to suck so they get rid of Balky. No. Well, that's a self-fulfilling prophecy. What if they're good? Like, oh, man, but I don't want to be good with Bulky. Is that what?
Sure.
And again, most people are not like that.
Right.
Overwhelmingly not like that. Okay, let's move on because we got to get to this audio of what Trent Baalke and Doug Peterson actually said yesterday. Was asked, where are we at here, on trading up in the draft.
Okay.
In front of us. Whatever happens, happens. The only thing we can control is be calculated on if we really target someone and we really feel we need to make a run, let's say get up to 12, get up to 13, get up to, we'll be prepared to do that if the right person's there. Look at the other side, like we did a year ago, trade back twice and get the same player. There's so many things that can happen. You got to go in prepared, but the board's going to fall the way it falls. You can't change that. So you just got to be ready for everything.
If you take that at face value, that 12, 13 area is where they think they've got, like, Denver didn't move for a quarterback. They don't like what's on the board. They're open for business at 12. Okay, we know what it's going to cost. Now, is the right player there? If you take everything else at face value, that we're not going to leap into the top 10. Is the right player the receiver who slipped? Or is the right player one of those corners that you're afraid is not going to make it through the next handful of picks?
Yeah, right.
I don't know what the answer to that is.
No, right.
You know?
Could be a tackle. They don't really say it. But
I find it hard to believe they're going to trade up for a tackle, though.
Yeah.
Because it's not like you can go right now. You can argue you could have two starters and a swing guy on the roster already that you could play with, and if any combination of the three have to play, you're not going to.
Get your QB hurt, you mean?
You're not banked up. Well, but anybody can get your quarterback hurt. Yeah. Anybody can get your quarterback hurt. You know? I mean.
I don't know. I mean, you can run it back with who you have. I wouldn't feel that confident.
You think that's what they're doing?
No, with the tackle. I mean, with the left tackle.
Okay, so you.
I would pick a tackle. I hope they pick a tackle.
I probably would take a tackle too. But then you're moving on from Cam, right? For what are you taking for him? Whatever you get?
I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I mean, listen.
I'm just asking.
No, I know. Look, I've been vocal about it. When Cam's healthy, I love him. But you can't guarantee me anybody's going to be healthy.
Can't guarantee you Troy Fautano's going to be healthy.
Well, there's less wear and tear on a rookie than a 8-year vet who's had multiple injuries, in my opinion.
Sure there is.
So if there's more risk, I would think, now anybody can get hurt at any given time, but there's more risk that my veteran's going to be injured more than my rookie.
All right, one more here from Baalke on trading up. He says the analytics people hate you if you do.
Well, if you talk to the analytics people, they'll tell you never move up, right? Acquire as many darts as you can, keep moving back. You just got to look at the board and let the board speak. I mean, we've spent 360 some days putting this thing together. And to try to make something happen that enforce something to happen sometimes backfires on you, right? You chase something that and it doesn't pan out, so you lose out there, and then you lose out on the guy that you would have picked or the two guys you would have picked with the other picks you gave up. So if you're going to move up, you better be right.
He's right.
Yeah. No doubt.
The outcome is good. Is that a good play call? Is that a bad play call? Did it work?
Right.
If it worked, it's a good play call.
It's a great play call, right?
I mean, it's just that's the bottom line.
Well, listen, for him to move back twice and still get Anton, he had to be very confident no one was
absolutely. He thought he knew what the board looked like.
He felt good about it.
And the Giants gave you Antonio Johnson and another pick, which turned into Derek Parrish, which was not. But they gave you Antonio Johnson to move back one spot.
Yeah.
You got a starting safety for a one-spot move.
Yeah.
I think you got to consider those kind of things. And what he's saying is you got to have more dart tosses.
It's iffy though.
Right,
You
it's
do,
not.
but you don't want to miss
it's
out
not,
on top
right,
talent.
Exactly.
Right,
It's not just like a pool. And we're just gonna randomly pluck guys out of this pool of
You're
players.
not making the move because you don't believe in your evaluation of the player.
Right.
Right. Like that's why you're making the move. It's like, okay, it's going to cost us all that. Yeah, it's worth it to me.
Right.
That's worth the price to me for that player. That's why you make the move up for a guy. Mm-hmm. It's because you think it's Devin Lloyd. They made a move up in the draft to go get Devin Lloyd.
That's damn right they did.
Right. Now, how that's going to work out long term?
Yeah, have they been right on that pick? Incomplete.
I don't think they've been wrong.
I don't think they've been wrong. I like Devin. He needs a little more.
And you got to consider too. It's not they gave a second and then 2 later picks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So who would you have gotten at that second? Let's presume Devin Lloyd's gone.
Okay.
And those later picks, who the hell knows what they turn into? You know what I mean?
No, I know.
It's tough. Here's when he talks about the analytics people. All you got to do is look at what the Chargers did yesterday. They had their pre-draft press conference, right? And Joe Hortiz, their general manager, said that the Chargers believe strongly in Jim Harbaugh's view of the value of their pick. Harbaugh said, basically, draft starts with our pick, right? That he goes, there's certainly, if you get too good of a deal in terms of what you're getting back, sometimes you say, man, we can't turn this down. He goes, but they have to make it attractive for us to move away from those players. The whole, it's a fair trade, it's a wash, that's not a trade we're interested in.
Yeah. Good
like,
for them.
we don't want even value.
Yeah.
You got to pay us more than even value.
Right.
Guy, which I would just frankly be like, okay, glad to know you're looking to rip me off, and I won't deal with that team.
Well, you stay at 5, you got one of the 3
That's fine.
wideouts, right?
Then take one of the wideouts.
No, right.
All right, and I like from you to say this is what this guy's worth, but you got to pay me 120%.
Right.
To get him?
Well, I think
no, thank you.
We've had enough of the conversations about trading into the top 10 for one of those wide receivers that it's not absurd to think that a team's willing to pay 120%.
They may be. They may be, but it wouldn't be me paying the Chargers who are, I mean, Jim Harbaugh is acting like he's won Super Bowls. You got to one.
Right.
You haven't done squat. No. Okay? Yeah, that little college championship don't mean diddly poo. Okay? Nothing. Yep. So you can go run your mouth and act like everyone's beholden to you.
Right.
Nobody is.
No.
You know?
No,
so
definitely not. But I could see that stand because, like, if you want to get one of these wideouts, it's going to cost you.
Sure.
Maybe cost you a little bit more than you think. You know? Mm-hmm. As long as it's not absurd and then you're, like, hanging up on the guy. Like, no, I don't think so. Click. You know what I mean? But they're in a good position. I guess, at number 5, you would think that the 3 quarterbacks are definitely gone.
I get it. I'm just like I get what he's trying to do. Yeah. He's trying to, like, this is what you're going to do it on my terms. Well, I'm just, no, we're not.
Yeah.
We're going to do it on fair terms or we're not doing it. Like, I get adding in a little something to get a deal done. But he's talking like, oh, this is the greatest pick you've ever had. Like,
right.
Pump your brakes there, khakis, all right?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's come back. Let's take a look at today's poll. A few more comments. Let's get a few in from Doug Peterson, the head coach of the Jaguars. And generally, you want to hear from the GM who's going to be pulling the trigger on these picks. But we'll get a few in from Doug before we wrap up today as well. This is Jaguars Today. Keep it right here on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today Friday
is brought to you by
CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living from the JOI Studios at 1010XL, where the pros go.
All right, everybody up. Come on, hands in.
Yeah.
Come on, everybody. Let's go out and kick some butt.
Here we go. On 3.
92.5 FM.
Life isn't the same without live music. Players Grill Mandarin has Samuel Sanders performing covers and original music this Saturday at 8 p.m. Jam out with this local singer-songwriter while enjoying tasty food everyone can enjoy. Players Grill Mandarin, where the neighborhood meets.
Discover luxury on your terms at Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville and drive away today in style.
Boasting North Florida's largest selection of Cadillacs, we have your dream car waiting.
Immerse yourself in the unparalleled power and the elegance of the all-new Cadillac Escalade V.
Or experience the future with the Cadillac Lyric, redefining luxury electric vehicles.
Thanks to our exclusive offers, the luxury of the Cadillac is more attainable than ever.
And rest assured, every Cadillac is backed by our dedication to outstanding customer service.
Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville. Tell them Jennifer sent you.
Big Brothers Big Sisters is teaming up with the NFL to inspire change. From now to draft day, Big Brothers Big Sisters is following the NFL draft, aiming to recruit potential bigs. Hi, I'm Brent from the 1010 sales team. I'm committed as a mentor, and we need you to step up and become a mentor too. There's a waiting list of more than 50 children hoping for a mentor. It's just a few hours a month. Be a mentor. Become a big. Visit bbsnefl.org. Be a mentor or visit Big Brothers Big Sisters and click on Big Draft.
Ever wonder how you can transform your living spaces into captivating works of art? At First Coast Lighting and Fans, they offer a huge selection of high-quality products to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness. Visit their showroom on Phillips Highway at the Avenues and step into a world of quality without compromise. Discover the difference that locally owned expertise makes and let them help you experience the transformation from average to extraordinary. At First Coast Lighting and Fans.
Have you or someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI and all criminal offenses. I've been named the best DUI attorney in the state, and David has been named the best criminal defense lawyer in Jacksonville. In your battle with the justice system, there is only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645.
Who are the top prospects?
These kids can play ball, and you know what?
1010XL's draft previews are brought to you by Big Brothers Big Sisters of Northeast Florida.
That's the foundation of this team.
Listen for draft previews.
Let's go! Looking for a night of action without a big hit to your bankroll? This Saturday, April 20th at 7 o'clock in the VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena, cheer on your Sharks as they go all in against the Las Vegas Nighthawks. See what I did there? With tickets as low as $15, you can't find this kind of family, affordable fun anywhere else. Call 904-621-0700 or visit jacksharks.com. Let's go! Decades Night. Find that old members-only jacket or favorite flannel shirt. We're celebrating the 90s. What's your favorite decade?
Let's go!
Don't miss the fun this Saturday, April 20th at 7 o'clock in the VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena. For tickets, call 904-621-0700 or visit jacksharks.com. That's tickets at 904-621-0700.
Let's go! Let's go!
This is Keith Catlin for Catlin Truck Accessories, and we are so blessed to be in business for over 100 years. Over 100 years of the best product and customer service means you can count on Catlin. From Roll-and Lock bed covers to Lear toppers to cam locker toolboxes, Catlin Truck Accessories has you covered when it comes to your truck or van. We do those too. Got a fleet of vehicles? We can outfit them all.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
One name, one location, 100 years. You can count on Catlin.
Certainly facing challenging economic times. I can't speak for all of us. But for me, comforting to know my money is in good hands with ITP Partners. Ticket here for ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. I'll admit it, I don't understand a ton about the economy. Higher interest rates, 401ks. What I do know as I move closer to retirement, I continue to watch my money grow. Thanks to Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, and Reed Wingate. Get in the game, guys. ITP Partners. Always there to help. For more info, Chris at ITPPartners.com or call 904-312-9751.
We're in Florida, and pest problems are persistent. Want them gone? Mission accomplished with Mission Pest Solutions. Veteran and locally owned and operated, Mission Pest will blow your mind with their communication and response time for all your pest, termite, and mosquito needs. Text or call 904-944-PEST. You'll speak directly with the owners. Mention 1010XL when you call 944-PEST. You'll get 25% off your initial pest or termite protection service. Mission accomplished with Mission Pest Solutions.
It's Taylor Dahl from Helmets and Heels. You know, I've got to tell you about an amazing experience I had recently. I'm moving, which most of you know can be a very stressful time. I had to get my carpets cleaned, so of course I called up Zero Res, and let me tell you, they did not disappoint. Zero Res came in and worked their magic, leaving my carpets looking brand new. If you want impeccable service and a great deal, it saved me time, made my move a bit easier, and was less than if I took that apartment cleaning fee. Zero Res, spelled backward or forwards, is the right way to clean.
It's back, the biggest jewelry sale of the year. Buy one, get one at Beard's Diamonds.
No other jewelry store in North Florida can match it. Buy any band and get the other one free.
The whole month of April.
Beard's Diamonds will beat any competitor's price.
At the St. John's Town Center.
Elevate your party game to the next level with Mystic Cornhole Company. Visit their showroom now on the corner of Hogan and Parental Home Road. It's your one-stop destination for all things cornhole. MysticCornhole.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. You're Mackin' with Tom McManus. Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. A better way to a better window on 1010XL.
Oh, you are all so jealous right now. You need to head to the 1010XL Jaguars Today YouTube page. And Steve Griffin dropping another gift bomb on us.
New merch.
New merch, baby.
Oh, yeah, swaggy swag.
We got it before Terry and Arnold did. Or
That's right. Or any of them.
Quinion Mitchell.
That's
or
right.
Roma Dunze.
Marvin Harrison.
We got the draft hat. Marvin Harrison Jr. What if we turn in the card and we actually draft senior? He's not draft eligible. No. What if you don't put the junior on there?
Senior beat us for a bomb in the Carrier Dome in 1991.
Careful
Marvin
what you say about
Harrison
senior. He may shoot you.
No, he's
allegedly.
He's a bad man.
Allegedly.
He's a great player.
Allegedly.
Yeah, right.
He may go look it up. There, E.T. got the swag.
Yes, he did.
We're all rocking the swag. We got what we got are Jaguar draft hats.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
They are really nice.
I mean, they're really nice. And in a mild upset, Tommy went with the flat bill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got
like
a choice.
flat
Flat bill, curve bill.
Yeah.
Tony, you're a curve bill guy.
I am.
I expect Pockets to be a flat bill guy. He's a youngster, but, you know.
Am I too old to be flat?
No, I don't know. I feel like it's more of a younger generation thing.
It definitely is. Trying to stay young.
You
Forever
do.
young.
Well, look, you front a band, Tom. You're a lead singer in a rock band.
That's right. I don't think I'll wear it tomorrow night. It kind of hurts my head a little.
Does it?
Yeah,
and you have it on the last little clip. Tom's got a
I got a massive
big head.
Yeah.
One of the great lines of Joe Coward of all time,
Yeah.
bringing up from time to time. Would you rather have $1 million or David Lamb's head full of nickels? It's tough, man. That's close. That's going to be close, right? That's a runoff right there.
Yeah.
Tommy Mack is in the six figures right
I am
there. You got a big head.
Yeah.
You got to save all that brain capacity, man.
It was good for smashing into people.
You know what? If you got that much extra brain power, you can afford to.
Yeah, and then I don't
smash a
have
little.
any problems with my head, so that's pretty good.
Beautiful. But thank you, Steve Griffin. We got the
these are great, man. I love them.
Jaguar draft hats.
They're sharp hats.
Did you already peel stickers off yours?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, you're not the youngster.
You're not cool anymore then.
No, I'm not.
You got to have
See,
all the,
I got
all
to
the
balance it
stickers
out.
on
I
there.
think I'm looking young, but I'm not.
That's right. Oh, but look, he looks down and you're like,
Yeah,
no, there's no new era sticker on that thing. But
I look like a young.
they are very nice.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I
sure
asked,
my girls
do you
would
have a
snag
half
it.
dozen of those we could give away? I got.
Yeah.
Kidding me?
Yeah, I know.
I said,
These are special.
Coward doesn't need one.
Huh?
Joe Coward doesn't need one.
No.
Right? They don't even know about him.
Right.
Yet, before we spoke about him.
That's right.
Right? We didn't know about him until
Maybe we'll
came in the
go
room.
grab a couple more.
I like goodies. Maybe we will. Why don't we get a few more sound bites here
Okay.
from Doug Peterson and Trent Baalke as we wrap things up today. Tony, why don't you lead us? I've closed my email. I got to reopen that one. I got it now. But go ahead and where are we at on Dougie P?
Doug Peterson, the first Doug Peterson clip we have here is just him talking about an injury update on the roster right now for the team. Cooper Hodges, Ventrell Miller, just where are these two guys in their recovery as of today?
Both guys are doing extremely well. Both have been here rehabbing and did a nice job during the season to get themselves in a position to perform this spring. And they're here in the building. They'll be able to get on the grass with us, in phase 2, and then obviously during OTAs in phase 3, and it'll be a big opportunity for both those guys, because I thought at the end of camp both guys were really trending in the right direction for us, to potentially help and so we'll see where they are, but they're healthy, they're ready to get back on the grass and see where we can plug them in and contribute and again give us, as we talk about, give us the depth that we're looking for at both of those positions.
You wonder with Trent Baalke saying yesterday, and I know he's speaking specifically about this year's class, but as a general rule, you do find offensive line starters in the 5th and 6th round, right? The teams do every year. There are a handful of guys that get drafted late. Creed Humphrey was like a 5th round pick, right?
Safety, any position really.
You wonder in his head if a little of him was thinking that, and we kind of did that last year. We hope with Cooper Hodges, right?
Yeah.
That we don't know, but do they think were they excited enough by what he showed in the offseason to think that he is down the line a potential starter.
Well,
for this
Doug
team.
said they were trending in the right direction to help us out this year, right? Which means.
But then he also mentioned depth.
Yeah.
So.
But the left guard position prior to Ezra Cleveland, you needed.
Could have been.
You needed help.
Yeah.
Right. So maybe he could have helped him. Yeah.
I
It'll
do
be an
think,
interesting one.
I think this year's for that spot is just what does he show you? Sheriff is your placeholder. He'll be your starter.
Right.
Does Hodges show you enough that you're confident going into next year that that's not another need you need to fill?
True.
A starting spot.
Yep.
Peterson Doug was asked about building a roster specifically. How much are you paying attention to what the Titans are doing, to what the Texans and Colts are doing in terms of, Tom Coughlin said, we wanted to build this team with you, Tom, to beat the Steelers.
Beat the Steelers, right.
You don't do that, you're not going anywhere.
Right.
You got to win the division. So Doug Peterson was asked about that aspect of team building.
You're going to pay close attention to your division, obviously, and see what's going on. And we saw, last year in the division, there were 3 brand new quarterbacks that were taken, right, in the division. So you pay close attention to that and some of the free agent moves that were made even in this offseason, right, and some of the things and the decisions that are and they're looking at us the same way, we have to construct the best roster for us and making sure that we have the best 11 offense, defense, and special teams on the field, right? I think, if you go in and saying, hey, we've got to stop the run, then we need run stoppers, right? If we got to defend the pass, then we need cover guys, or pass rushers. So you're going to take a look at all of that, but yet we have to focus internally too and make sure that we're putting the best guys for what we're doing, because schematically we're not the same, right? And we do things a little bit different. So building it that way as well, but do we pay attention? We sure do.
One more here from Coach Peterson, who said yesterday that this is the best front office that he's had the chance to work with.
As far as our involvement as a staff and myself, it's the best I've been around. It's one of the things that Trent really has been open to the evaluation process from the coaches, right? And he understands the coaching side of it as well as the scouting side of it, and the involvement has been. It's the same every year. It's probably even gotten a little bit more, just the more comfortable that we are working together. And it takes everybody, to put a roster together. And it's not about one guy making all the decisions, right? And so there's a lot of input. He values what the coaches say and how the coaches rank and stack players. Just like, we appreciate what the scouts do because they're the ones that are out there every single day scouting these players. So it's been a really good process and one that as a coach, you can really appreciate.
Oh,
good.
Take him for what he says or not. It really doesn't matter.
Suck it, Howie Roseman. No, I'm just kidding.
There's some of that. And then maybe a little of that.
The best is here, not there. No.
Mixed in.
That's good.
By
That's
the way,
good.
He said, I'm what? Bulky's better than me.
Yeah, right.
Better to work with, whatever.
Yeah.
Somebody asked a lot of people weighing in on hats, including flat bills or for fat heads.
That's right.
Yeah, maybe. Okay.
That's good then.
You got to have room for your brain.
Yep.
Stickers on hats are stupid. And then that one was followed up by the same guy saying, didn't Ventrell get hurt 2 years ago? How's he still rehabbing? Huge waste. He got hurt in the final preseason game
He was a
last
rookie
year.
last year, wasn't
Yeah. Well, they're saying it's not the same injury. He hurt his Achilles in the preseason last year. That's
he
what
was
caused
hurt
him
coming
to miss
in
the season.
to the season last year. Then he got on the field and got hurt in the preseason.
Right. It was a different thing.
Yeah.
So he's not rehabbing the same thing from 2
Right,
years ago.
Right.
So, and maybe it turns out to be a huge waste. We don't know.
Yeah,
Didn't give him
right.
any, it's after 1 year. It is. Didn't give him anything.
No, right.
Yeah,
and he's going to help you at special teams. Can he cover? Can he play nickel? Can he, play will and base? That'll be interesting to see. I know he can run if he's healthy.
We shall find out.
Yeah, man.
What do you have going on between now and the draft? Like podcast, and what are you doing?
Oh, jeez. Podcast Tuesday and Friday. The Horse's Mouth next Thursday. We'll talk about it. I'm doing a.
So did you put a fresh one out this morning? I
already did it. Yeah.
Okay, and then you're going to stick around with Helmets and Heels for the next.
I'm hanging
hour
out for
too.
the first hour. Yeah.
Okay.
For Helmets and Heels, and then just be doing podcasts next week about it, man. Catching up with Tommy Mack right here on 1010's platform.
Love it.
And we may kick off season 2 of the new show, but we're We won't know until today.
Okay.
Next Thursday for a pre-draft party, but we'll see about that. But yeah, Dad Bods tomorrow night, if I may throw in there.
Absolutely.
Iggy's Bar and Grill in Fruit Cove. We're big fans of that patio, and we'll be out on the patio. It's always a good time, a lot of good crowds. About our 6th time back, so we must be doing something okay.
All right. Well, Tony Dillon and I will hit the ground running on Monday. We'll have draft analysts. We'll have your local reporters on during the week. We'll do our media mock draft on Wednesday. Excuse me, on Wednesday. Just draft, wall to wall, which is close to what we've been doing recently. But really, that's the sole focus next week. Let's get some good picks, some new good players. Let's get excited. And I mean, or not. And in the end, let's hope they lead to a lot of Jaguar victories.
That's all that matters.
All right.
That's right.
Tony Smith, good weekend for you, I hope, coming up.